Chaos seems to be the epicenter of many of our lives, and that rings especially true for many moms out there. Well, here's the thing. Dr. Tiffany Moon is aiming to help moms find more joy through her brand new book. Dr. Tiffany Moon joins me now. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, Dr. Moon, I know that you have this very specific quote about joy. So, why don't you kind of explain what that quote is and why it means so much to you?
Yeah, I always say that the joy is in the journey and not in the destination. What I mean by that is that for so much of my life, I kept saying, "Oh, I'll be happy when," and there always seemed to be another goal, another finish line, another mountain to climb. And the fact of the matter is, I prioritized achievements and accolades so much that I gave up on lots of moments of joy and connection and laughter and gratitude. So I got to the top of this proverbial mountain and I looked around and I was sort of like, oh my gosh, I missed it. I sort of had these blinders on and didn't enjoy the journey for what it was. And to be honest, there's not this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow when you get there. There's more hard work. The finish line moves, you get a achievement and it's like, okay, what's next, and I think sometimes we don't celebrate our successes enough before we just move on to the next thing.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good. I think that can really be applied to anyone too, which is the beauty of what you're doing here. So, your book, Joy Prescriptions, one really cool thing about it is it kind of offers these bite sized, little tips of help to kind of help moms get along. So, I'm curious, what's like a small ritual that moms can start doing today to really start protecting their own peace?
I would say just taking a little bit of time every day for self-care. As a working mom, I'm up at 6 a.m. getting the kids dressed, fed, out to school, and then in the afternoon, picking them up, shuttling them to all of their after-school activities, getting dinner on the table, cleaning up, get them bathed and ready for bed. And it's 9 p.m. and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, like I skipped lunch today. I haven't peed in 4 hours. Like it's just we're not taking care of ourselves, right? We take care of everyone else and we don't take good care of ourselves. And there are scientific studies that show that chronic stress increases inflammation, increases your cortisol level, you're always activated and in this like sympathetic fight or flight response. And a little self-care goes a long way. Sometimes moms that I coach are like, girl, where am I going to find like 30 minutes where my toddler isn't screaming? And I'm like, I, there are different ways. You can have a helper. Hopefully your spouse can do it. But you got to find a way to take care of yourself. It cannot be like an emergency procedure. It needs to be a daily habit.
Yeah. Well, and you yourself, you're a doctor, entrepreneur, mom of twins, former reality star. So, how do you kind of personally go about really finding joy in, these very tense, kind of stressful moments or stressful days?
Yeah, I heard something on a podcast not too long ago where the host said when things are going on in your day, um, try to express gratitude and say to yourself, like, I don't have to do this, I get to do this. I get to go to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning and work with my personal trainer because my body is able and I'm healthy and I have the resources to be able to do that. I get to teach my kids a lesson about kindness and sharing because I have, beautiful young children. Like some people don't have that. And I think it's a small shift in your mindset, but helps keep me a little bit grounded because I too have days where it seems like nothing is going right and I just want to have a pity party for myself and like, oh, things aren't going the way I wanted. This deal fell through. Somebody posted that they hate me on social media and I'm so annoying. Like, I'm just really sucking right now, But it's like at the end of the day, we as humans have this negativity bias where we tend to pay more attention to negative things, and then the positive things don't resonate as much. And so, just giving yourself some grace, having a joyful outlook on life, and trying to cultivate a practice of daily gratitude.
Yeah. Not I have to do it, but I get to do it. I think it's really good. And it's funny you bring up the social media thing because it was Carrie Underwood recently on an episode of American Idol who was telling contestants that a social media hack she does is what she calls post and ghost. So, like, post what you want to post and then get off there. Don't worry about what people are saying. Don't worry about the response, because at the end of the day, it's your social pages that you're sharing whatever you choose to share with, right? So, I think that's a really kind of valid, active, healthy way to go about that. But something else I'm really curious on, Dr. Moon, is, obviously we're living in this very kind of tense, ongoing, concerning world in a lot of different ways for whatever that means for you. So what advice would you have for moms who are kind of, feeling these different questions of their kiddos that are maybe picking up on certain things, to kind of help them feel more at ease instead of also picking up that stress of the world?
I think it's important for families to have conversations together. I think the kids are getting a lot of information or misinformation on social media. Their frontal lobes are not developed and they don't really understand like what's real, what's not, what misinformation is. I mean, my 10-year-old sometimes will have iPad time and then they'll tell me something and I'm like, that's not true. Like, where did you see that? And they're like, oh, on YouTube. And they're on YouTube Kids, which I thought was safe. But apparently stuff gets through. I think it's just important to have real conversations with your kids. Shield them as long as you can. And then when they get to a period of maybe being in the 9 to 11 range and they're able to understand concepts more, like have real conversations with your kids about things that they're hearing, things that are happening in school, things that they're concerned about. I mean, these are all easy things to do, but I think sometimes it's hard to do the easy things.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. Doing the easy thing or doing, yeah, the easy thing doesn't mean that it's easy per se. Whatever. Anyway, so something I'm curious on, what do you really hope that moms or readers get out of your book? What do you think they're going to really take away after visiting with Joy Prescriptions?
Well, I hope that the book is an enjoyable read. I wrote it with my signature humor sense, which is a little dry, a little sarcastic. So the book is meant to be a memoir with like a self-help feel to it. And the reason it's called Joy Prescriptions is that at the end of each chapter, I actually wrote a joy prescription for the reader to infuse more authenticity and joy in their lives. So I hope that the moms read it, that it makes them chuckle a little bit, that they understand where I'm coming from, and then take the actual joy prescriptions to heart because moms all need a little bit more joy. It's not just like one Mother's Day weekend in May that we get to celebrate moms. I think mom is the hardest job in the world. And I say this as someone who, puts people to sleep for a living. Momming is the hardest, most thankless like job in the whole world. And I think we just need to lift moms up more, let them know what a good job they're doing, and give them a little bit of kindness and grace.
Yeah, kindness and grace goes a long way. So,
It
um,
really does.
yeah. So if people want to get more information on this book or get their own copy, how do they go about doing that?
You can buy it on my website at joyprescriptions.com or anywhere that books are sold. I would be so grateful if you'd consider purchasing a copy.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Tiffany Moon, thank you so much for your time this morning. Joy Prescriptions. Get your copy now from joyprescriptions.com. And we just congratulate on all your success, and hopefully there'll be more books in the future. Who knows?
Who knows? Let's see.